Introduction of API, nothing to tell, right? You guys already know all the backend logic is become the API. But the API is when there is a two devices are communicating with each other, sending the data or receiving the data, that's simply called the API. But we call the RESTful API or the SOAP API. There are two types of API is super popular. One is SOAP API, one is RESTful API. In the web world, 95% is RESTful API. There is a third API on the market. It's called the GraphQL. GraphQL, there is third API. It is faster than REST API. You don't need to know. You just know this. GraphQL works different way. In some point, we'll be teaching you the GraphQL as well. It's all behind the scene. Developer has to develop. So now let's go with this quickly. See how the API works. We already touched everything. You see, he asked the question. That's everything was done the previous. Okay, I'm not going to cover this because you guys know this. The client, your web page, internet. Of course, client touching the interface. It touching the API which we saw, and then actually coming to the web server. This actually technically wrong. So it should be there should be a backend here, right? There should be a backend here. Yeah, that's right. See this? That's the reason we do not even Google. From the Google, it doesn't work. But in 2 months, when I will be drawing the picture, then everything will be clear. Whatever I just said, that will be start drawing the picture. This picture is wrong. This picture is because there is no where backend. And this API actually this API actually configured on the web server. How I do know this? Because I'm a solution architect, and I also actually all the cloud ops engineering. I do know all of this. Good. So let's go here. So basically, let's think about it. You are from your browser. When you type the when you type your username and password for the Agile LM or ts4u.us, it goes to your internet. That's what it's telling. And then, of course, we saw that you are actually touching the API. And then our API is actually on the web server, as I said. And then web server actually communicating with the backend server. And backend server actually connecting to the database. So each of the logic, you are login, you are log out, you are doing the technical test, you are accessing the program, you are actually setting up a calendar, you are setting up like the day-to-day activities, all these things, that's the communication. That's actually all this RESTful API in the ts4u.us. Come on, if someone is sleeping, come and stand with me. Then you'll, I know, I understand. I do not blame you, sorry. It stand with me, so you'll not be. Or take a coffee. Yeah. So that's the one. Good. Do not look at this at all. These are misguiding. You do not need to worry about it. Basically, that's what they're saying. All of this. That's everybody in the community. Everybody give this example. We do not. So forget about this. It's a RESTful API is a way of accessing the web service. Simple, right? That you are actually accessing all the service. Service means calendar, right? You are accessing the technical question, and then you are setting up a day-to-day activity. That's all called the web services. From where? From the backend. Make sense? So what is the data format? JSON dot application dot JSON. And we saw in the Swagger, what? We saw the payload request body. That's actually the RESTful API. Okay? And there is the SOAP, there is the REST. And then what is this? Remember? HTTP request. SOAP is another protocol. REST is yep. As I said, there is a SOAP, there is the REST. REST is in the internet, 95% all the rest. You don't need to worry. They all work the same way. So now how this works, how HTTP works, we already discussed all of this, but good thing we actually show through our admin, like the seller portal admin, the API, we show you guys all the details, right? So they are saying what type of behavior. So in this case, you can say our calendar, our day-to-day activities, our what is called so many other things, the program, and then the create an issues in the TS4U portal, right? All the RESTful API. How about the Agile LM? Create a user story, create a task, and all of this will show you. How many API for the Agile LM? You guys will be surprised. Over 200. Okay, so you guys will know. So they're just saying how it works. We already discovered. And we already discussed that get means you are just reading. Get means you are just reading. Such as one example. You sign up, right? And you create sign in. But don't you think operation team member, you always tell me, I actually paid $2,000. How do I know you paid $2,000 or not? So what I will ask, Robin, what is your ID? Hey, that's my Gmail ID, right? So operation team member goes and type your Gmail ID and it shows. So the get. Yes, you can just read the information. You just view the information. That's the get. And delete means you're removing something. If I want to remove some data from documents, I can remove. We have a lot of functionality in the admin portal. We can delete. Head means like when you sending a mail from one place to another place, in the envelope, you see on the top, from and to. From is the browser, mean the client, to is the server. And of course, just typing all the details. That's the header. Good. We saw the header on the, you can see when he showed like the server, application JSON, Nginx. Actually, these are all the header. Good. And we discuss about this. There is a four type of action we do: create, read, update, and delete. Based on the user story, we do all of this action. I should be able to find out another user. I should be able to see all the users in the Agile LM. Is it the get, post, put, or delete? It's a get. I should be able to delete a user. Is it get, post, put, or delete? Delete, I just said it. I should be able to delete a user. I should be able to update a user story in the Agile LM. What is this? Put, right? I should be able to create a user story, a task, a bug. You guys see, you guys are master. you guys are master here, right? You see? So all the user action is actually the CRUD. Easy, right? Not difficult at all. That's how exactly it works. Forget about them. It just tell all this, the whole world class, everybody is using the API, basically. If we actually access, you guys are logged into the Google, right? In the TS4U. Actually, behind the scene, our backend, we actually connected with the Google API. And that's the reason you can log in TS4U portal using the Google ID. How? Because our backend is connected with the Google API backend. And this is simply called the OAuth 2.0. You guys hear this? Yes. OAuth 2.0, authentication 2.0. It means when a client is trying to access a service, but client need to be authenticated by the different service, that's called the OAuth 2.0. So does it make sense now? You are trying to accessing ts4u.us website through your Google account. You see this? Through your Google account, that's become the OAuth 2.0. That's it. Means, what are the reasons? There are multiple reasons. One is authentication always has to be different. Authentication server or the service in every application is very sensitive. This is where we actually make a decision what user can do or cannot do. You cannot see any cloud of the content, can you? Can you see becoming like the product owner? Can you see the quality assurance access? That's all actually done by the behind the scene authentication. Of course, this is not the OAuth 2.0. I'm just saying authentication is very sensitive in it. That we call the authentication service. That's the way all the business logic, all the backend logic is written in a way that's the decide everything. But what I'm saying, when you are in a simple way, you are trying to withdraw the money from your PNC bank. Okay. So PNC bank has two options. One is where all the money is stored, one server, but when you're trying to type your username and password, PNC takes you to their authentication server and verify, are you the user of PNC authentication server? Yes, you are a user. And then also tells you what type of user you are. Are you the retail user? Are you the corporate user? Are you the business user? Are you the small business user? Are you the investment user? You see this? It's a whole new different ball game. Authentication is very complex thing. So that make all the decision. How? When you sign up on the banking, it actually took all your information. It will store all the information in the authentication server. When you try to, each time you sign in, it actually evaluate all your requests and then actually give you the token. You see that? I just said now the token. It gives you specific token. You can take this token. Now you can go tell your the money, where is the on the server, money server, where is you want to withdraw the money. So it tells you, okay, use this token. Now you can take the money from your account. You did not use the password here. We just use login with your password, and then it evaluated you and tells you that you are actually a specific user. Instead of this, it did not actually store your password, and it gives you something different that nobody can hack it. We call actually JWT token. Yes, this is all the backend API. Yeah, we bring it. Yeah, we'll know more detail. Basically, all I'm trying to say, authentication is separated from the overall application. If you think about this, in the TS for you, we have the user from the sign up. That's the user. User come to the talk to us. That's the user. User log into a course. That's the user. But also users enroll a program. That's also user, right? Do you think the whoever sign up, they can enroll to the any program? They should not, right? It's a 17,000, 200,000 program, right? It's authentication. Correct. So we actually store each of the user based on their the behavior. When you enroll, then you actually not only enroll, then you have to have a specific program you have to enroll, then you get the access permission. So basically, again, the knowledge goes back to the application. The more you understand the application, the best you can be in your project. I'm just telling the TS for you because I know the entire application, how it works, right? Any application, any environment you go, the primary, secondary, all focus immediately goes to the application. The more you understand the requirements and the application behavior, the best you will be in any places. So anyway, we use the JWT token. We'll go over this more details. Don't worry about it. It just tells you that when someone is using the Twitter or the API, like from our TS for you, if I want to allow you to tweet something from the TS for you, do you know what I have to do? I have to create an account in the Twitter. I have to access that API. I have to get the token, and then this token, our backend engineer will be implementing in our backend so that the Twitter backend and our backend is connected. Now, in the front end, our front end developer just put a the Twitter icon. So when as a user, when you click it, you consume that API. When you click it, you can actually tweet something on the Twitter. That's what it means. Let's go another one. In our TS40 website, right? I want to know where is Robin is, right? I just want to know what Robin is. What we can do, we can implement their map and then real-time map. And then when I turn on the map, I see Robin is in the parking lot, in the nightclub, in the party, right? You see this? So basically, I'm not actually developing all map. I'm actually using the Google API. I'm going to create an API in the Google, and that API will be implemented with my backend, with our backend. And then I can actually put the button on the front end, and from the admin panel, click on Robin. Robin, what are you doing in New York? You're not supposed to go Bangladesh now, or you're not supposed to go to New York. You told me you are not going to the Bangladesh during the program. Why didn't you tell me? You see? How what you can do? You can do a hell lot of shit. The bot is like the fully automated, like we just say something and bot does it.
Application aspect is the main, which part is authenticated or what?
It's just a functionality. It's just a new feature. The feature is just the creating a bot, removing a bot, editing a bot, and the sending the automated message. Instead of we do it, it just does it. It's another feature. Yes, bot is the feature. So what is the example is, so you see, if you want to Google Map in your things, how about we're thinking actually from the July, remember we call everybody, okay, this is the computer you have to buy, this you have to buy, remember? How about we actually implement the Amazon API? What will happen? So we are going to implement the Amazon API in the e-commerce application so that our operation team will be listing some of the Amazon computer, laptop, headset, camera, table, means whatever you buy. So that I will tell our student, okay, go buy whatever you need. Actually, I am Amazon affiliated business, but behind the scene, I'm actually listing all the Amazon product as the API. What is the benefits? Of course, two application is connected. You guys are buying something, I'm getting $40, $50. You see this? So that's also money. How about in our website, TS for you, before you join, I want to pull your credit to see your background. Can I not do that? I can do that. So I can go to the Credco, Experian, I can go and say, I can get their API, I can implement their API with our backend so that once you do the enrollment, once you submit, it will actually pull your credit and give you the credit score. If you have a bad credit, I will say, okay, you should not join because I cannot fix you because your background will fail. That's the reason credit is important. How about I want to actually check your felony? I want to check you, make sure you're clean background. No misdemeanor, no driving record, no felony, right? I will go to a background company like HireRight. I will actually start creating an ID and build a business-to-business relationship. I will create the API. I will create the API, and then we'll start implementing their endpoint in our backend. So now I can, during your enrollment process, I can check your, right? You against user information, it will hit their backend server and tells you your background, your felony, you have a driving bad record. So I'm pulling your credit score, I'm pulling your background check, I'm doing everything. Through the credit, I know how much you are making, right? What is the default or not? Through the felony, I know what is your status. So now I can say, yeah, you are allowed in the program. So all of this they're saying in this. So I gave you the multiple example. That's how the business to business work. Any question? Okay, make sure you guys understand.
If you don't